Hello everyone, this is Julian from Kanen Coffee, and today we have a Jura Impressa Z5 with us in the shop. And this machine came in for one main reason being that the grinder just stopped working. Usually this is indicated whether you grind and it doesn't actually get to the brew stage, or if there's just not enough grounds going into the puck where the machine registers that you have enough. It usually tells you to add more coffee or along the lines, or go less fine. Some machines will ask you to go less fine on the grind setting. But the grinder was pretty much in free spin, which all that means is the bird spins, but nothing's really grinding. And so we replaced the grinder. Here is your original grinder right here. Nice long one that goes in the back over there. And this is what was kind of inside of your grinder. And so, as you can see, no bueno. Not what you want to be drinking, as you can see. Mold or spider webs, I'm actually unsure, but it's quite a lot. And so after replacing that with a brand new one, a newer version of this grinder, we put it in there, calibrated it. Now we ran into some few issues. You might see that the side panel is still open. I kind of wanted to show off a few things that I've done. A few modifications to the machine, because after we replaced the grinder, there was a huge leak all over your machine over here. So as you can see, there's a lot of electronics inside, especially on this side of the machine. You have both your heating engines, your thermal blocks. This one I believe is for brewing. This one I believe is for steaming. And what was happening is this hose right here, as you can see, I cut off a little bit because what happened, so this hose would actually hook back here, run across, and then go up. But this hose is kind of expensive. And so we had to cut it off because there was damage at the tip, which was releasing a bunch of water out into your machine. You could kind of see there's a little bit of a cut on the top. And so what we did is we cut the hose shorter to where it's actually good. And we're gonna move this hose to actually just go into the machine like that. But it stopped the leaking from here, but you also had a leak down in this valve that's kind of hidden behind the ceramic valve back there. And pretty much I do have a smaller version of this valve to kind of demonstrate. I do not have one. And so pretty much what we did is I completely took it out, or pulled it out. And what was happening was actually leaking from the top part, which has a plunger that looks like this. This is your older plunger, and what it's supposed to kind of look like. Well, when I pulled it out, it was actually all damaged, and I tried shaving it down, but there's a specific shape that it needs to be to actually fix it. And so we were unable to kind of service your valve in a sense of just fixing your older one, but we did replace the plunger with a newer plunger, and also gasket. And there's this piece of plastic that kind of layers over everything right at the tip where the gasket would be, but that was also completely shattered when we opened it. And so it's leaking a bunch of water into your machine, which is also hitting your ceramic valve and mainly your solenoid valve, which is why your solenoid valve is really loud now. And so every time you brew, it's going to just hum really loud, which is not normal. But since there was damage, it will sound like that normally. But after replacing both of those, or fixing both of those, servicing both of those parts, we were able to stop the leak and get a good shot. So now we're just going to test the brewing side of the machine by just clicking that. Now we do have this we're going to start with the coarses setting. On the grinder, we did have to calibrate the grinder to a specific part so that the full rotation from coarse to fine is a good spectrum. When you first install the grinder, it's usually always way too fine, and so it'll grind pretty much nothing. And you just kind of have to adjust as you go until you get a good, radius to adjust to. This is going to be the courses, and we're kind of going to show the grounds as we go, just because we did replace the grinder, and we're just wanting to make sure everything's working well. First shot's going to be a little bit lighter, because again, it's coarse setting, but it's still a double. And don't worry about the crema on this shot. We're using old coffee that's been sitting around for quite a while, just our test coffee. But we're going to dump this out. And we're going to pull out the puck. It kind of broke on falling, but quite coarse if I pull it out. You can see it's nice and just nice grain to it. For coarse coffee, you are wanting to see little chunks of coffee still there. And so we're going to wash this out, and then we're going to do the finest setting. So we washed it out. I'm gonna pull this out, put this back in. Now we didn't do any cleaning to this machine. After I took the panel off, I did look inside, and there is quite a bit of coffee buildup around your group head, or not group head, your brew unit, and kind of along all the walls of the machine. And so I would recommend highly just cleaning the machine out. You're definitely going to need some sort of cleaning service at some point, but for now, perfectly fine. Still runs, everything's still working as much as efficient as it could be in this stage. But yeah, I do recommend at some point getting a cleaning on this machine. So this is the finest setting you have. It's going to be a little darker. You're going to see a little bit more crema, but again, this coffee's old, so you might not see a lot difference between the two shots. But really, we're mainly wanting to look at that puck after the fact to see how much finer it is compared to the last shot. So after it releases it into the tray, pull it out. And as you can see, it already looks a little different. A little flatter because it can compress more since it ain't as grainy. And spreading it, you could definitely kind of tell, at least feeling it wise, that it is definitely more finer. And yeah, that's about it for this repair. If you like this video or any of our other videos on our channel, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching.